cafe anyway.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
Wow, the things that I learn when I come into Cafe Anyway to do my podcast that is entitled Mike's Daily Podcast. It's episode 2196. How do you doing? That's great. I would say I'm doing good too. And I am done singing this song. It's through. And I haven't done a podcast in a couple of days, so this hasn't really been Mike's Daily Podcast. It's been Mike's somewhat inconsistent show. Mike's. And here it is. Daily. We're back on it, though. Podcast. Have you guys ever been to Shadow Cliffs? Yeah! It's in Pleasanton. You guys, you people, you wonderful, wondrous listeners. I used to go there with Basil the Boxer, who you'll hear bark shortly from now. But it's been a while. I need to go back there. It's such a nice little spot in Pleasanton. Although I don't think you can use the facilities because of the pandemic, but they've got a little marina, boat rental, swimming beach, and then if you get over to the Arroyo area, it's called the Arroyo area. They have a nice little lake there, but no swimming allowed or boating, but you can fish. And if you have a dog, well, I didn't say this, but you can let the dog off leash and go swimming in the water. Did I say that out loud? You're not supposed to do that, but you could, theoretically. And they have this, it's wonderful it's a quarry that was turned into a lake, similar to the one over there in Fremont, Union City, that area. So anyway, Cafe Anyway, just wanted to mention that at the beginning of the show. I missed that place. I need to go back there. I took a little trip to Rockridge today, where I saw practically everything is closed, and very few people.
And here's today's podcast picture.
Which, should I make that the podcast picture today of that wondrous excursion, that Mike excursion that I went to with my lovely lady friend? She sold some clothes to a place over there in Rockridge, and they actually gave her a little money. And that's called lucky. Because she probably made about as much money as I made on the car that I sold, that I junked recently. So that's good. That was a fun, and that's the one positive thing. Oh, Basil. Yes, went with him to Shadow Cliffs in Pleasanton several years back. And he probably barked just like that. Yes. The late, great Basil the Boxer. So, the podcast picture today is of a little walk that I took recently on such a nice sunny. We've been having some nice, sunny, wonderful days in the East Bay. You can see that podcast picture at MikesDailyPodcast.com of me waving to the camera for no particular reason. I haven't been in a podcast picture lately, so there's one there. Hey, what's the deal with the masks getting thrown all over the place? You're walking along and there's a mask on the ground. Oh, I should really post some place that I know, in a place of employment that I know people that work at this place. And there is a sign that is up for these people that work at this place. And it says the following: face masks are like underwear. Please don't leave them here. Yes, because I guess people were just leaving the masks there. But seeing them just on the side of the sidewalk, just laying there, it's just so inconsiderate. What's the typical trash that you see on the side of the road? It's face masks, it's fast food. That has always been the rule. It will always be the rule. Fast food just gets chucked on the side of the road. Those cups, the wrappers, the bags, sometimes the food's still in there. So nice and picturesque. But here's an idea. Proper recycling is more critical than ever. in the Bay Area, in Podcastro Valley, where we are broadcasting from, in Podcastro Valley Cafe, anyway, somewhere at the last place on earth. And a lot of people have not been recycling correctly. In recent years, we've gotten like an F because people are constantly putting recyclable stuff in the garbage. Stuff that should go only in the garbage have been going in the recycling. U.S. manufacturers who use recycled content in their products rely on the materials you place in the blue bin, which are then created into new products. Help keep the recycling stream clean and avoid putting garbage into blue carts. Garbage contaminates recyclables and lowers their chance of being recycled. A lesson that I learned when I first moved to the Bay Area, and I first started, because where I was living in Alabama, they didn't really have a recycle bin. They had a tiny little box they gave you, and you could put recyclables in that. But then all your trash went into this enormous bin, giant. There was no compost bin. You did that on your own if you wanted. I think that has changed since I left Alabama in 2009. In Ventura, we had a bit of a recyclable program, but I don't think people were following it very well. At least where I was living, the duplex I was living in, I didn't own it, and the landlords didn't seem to care if we were following recycling or not. But here in the Bay Area, I'm being very careful, very keen on what it is I put in the recycle bin. So garbage contaminates recyclables, and I found that out the hard way because I did put something in the recyclable bin that it shouldn't have been, and I got fined like $100, I remember. Maybe it was more than that. It definitely would be more than that now. And when you do that, it lowers the chance of those items being recycled. Here's a list of tricky items that belong in the garbage and should never be placed in the blue recycling cart. As we go outside a cafe anyway, we bring you Mike's Daily Podcast somewhere in Podcastro Valley. Plastic utensils and straws should not be put in the blue recycling cart. I don't know why that is. To me, that's counterintuitive. They're plastic. Shouldn't they go in there? It might be because they're too small and they can't grind them up. I think that's what they do. Don't they grind them up and put them in some kind of massive meltdown furnace thing? Thermal paper receipts. Not sure what that is. Does that just paper receipts? Receipts that we get from the supermarket you're not supposed to put in the recycle bin? Once again, very counterintuitive. I would not think that because it looks like paper to me. Single-use personal protective equipment. For example, disposable masks and gloves. They do not go in the recycling. They go in the garbage. That makes a little more sense to me. Wipes, handy wipes, the wipes, the Clorox wipes and all that stuff, that does not go in the recycling. Even though it looks kind of like paper, it's not. It goes in the garbage. And finally, mixed material packaging from online deliveries. I guess that would include the bubble wrap. That would include the envelopes. The stuff that, basically everything that you get delivered to you has to go in the garbage. That does not seem right, does it? Because we're getting more online deliveries more than ever now. Let's see. Bezos just stepped down as CEO today from Amazon. Thank you, Amazon, for all these deliveries. And we're doing that more than ever, and yet we can't recycle any of it. That doesn't seem right. What do you think about that? You can call me 336MM Daily. 3 + 3 = 6. MM is in Mike Matthews. Daily is in what this podcast is trying to be. Okay. I guess, and we had Zero Waste Week recently. So it just comes down to we don't really know, do we? It goes against what you would think. That stuff that you can recycle, and the rules are constantly changing. It's like Gavin Newsom and what we can do. Can we eat out? Can we not eat out? Can we eat in the little patio outside of the restaurant or not? Should we go outside? Should we not? The rules constantly change. the goalposts change. Everything changes. It'd be nice if we had a little more consistency. Maybe that should be what I call today's podcast, because I haven't been consistent, Gavin Newsom hasn't been consistent, and the garbage hasn't been consistent. Hey, we're outside a cafe anyway, somewhere in Podcastro Valley. Look who's here right now. Hello, Michael Myers. It's Madame Rootabega, and I'm going to throw everything out. Oh! What's your favorite thing to throw out? Do you like to throw out paper? Yes. Do you like to throw out pie? Yes. Do you like to throw out my car? No. I threw out my car and got $220. I hope that it got recycled. Parts of it got pulled off and used for someone's benefit. Look who else is here.
Hello there, Mike. This is Valentino, the parking attendant.
And this is Bison Bentley. Do you know that?
Mike, we're a couple of characters that show up on your show all the time.
Yeah, all the time. Do you know that? Yes, thank you for that. Health makeover. Good health can mean different things to different people. How about pressing reset? Yes. Here's how you reset your body. Oh, hey, look who's here. Lovely lady friend showed up. You have to get on a microphone. I'm just ordering her around. Here, there's a microphone.
Ah, perfect. Can you hear me?
I can. Can the listener hear you? Yes. We all can hear you.
I couldn't resist.
I can't resist
I heard you. Oh, love. We can't resist each other.
I can't resist your kiss. Your kiss is on my list.
So I was making pasta upstairs, and I heard you, and I heard Madame Rootabega and Bison Bentley.
Yes, they're all here right now.
Yeah, so I had to come downstairs.
Aw.
Come to the cafe.
We're outside now.
Yes, I had to go outside.
You'll hear the sounds if you put the headphones on. I think.
Yes.
I haven't tested those in a while.
Yes.
You hear
the birds.
You saw deer today.
Lots of them.
Aw.
Yeah.
Like 20?
Less than 20. More than 5.
Okay. That's a lot.
Yes, there's a lot of deer.
You see animals, and I don't when I go walking in Podcastro Valley.
I actually, this is why I call you St. Francis, because you're like the piped piper. They come to you.
Oh,
they follow you.
That, and I'm bald. Wasn't he bald too?
I don't know. Didn't he have like a little hat, a little felt hat?
I just remember because my grandma was Catholic. Well, both grandmas were Catholic, but I remember one of them had a St. Francis statue in the garden with the hands open. And am I thinking of the right guy?
I maybe. Yeah, I see him. And is he like the patron saint of gardens? Animals?
Yeah.
Sure. Animals are outside, and gardens are generally outside, so sure.
And I am glad that you have come here today to join me on Mike's Daily Podcast. I was just talking about pressing reset and as far as health goes, as we start the year. Well, we've already started the year. Now we're starting a new month, the second month of the year.
Yes.
Eat real, unprocessed food and don't skip breakfast. That's what this says.
Well, there goes my
this Costco connection. Bill Gates doesn't eat breakfast, apparently. But
look at him.
He's rich. So if you skip breakfast, you'll get rich. Make sure every meal has a combination of the following: a protein.
Yes.
But the protein has to be the size of your palm. I've heard that before. Unlimited.
Wait. The size of your palm?
Yeah.
Now, is that for men and women, or?
Yeah. That's a good question. Costco connection. Answer that. Also, you should have... I agree with this completely. Unlimited, non-starchy vegetables. We're talking spinach, zucchini, broccoli. Unlimited. You can go eat as much of that until you drop.
Yeah, you might not want to. You probably will drop a bomb
You'll drop a bomb
in the bathroom.
But it's so good for you. Up to a palmful of water-soluble fiber, which is whole grains, legumes, and high-fiber fruit. I don't know why they don't want... I guess they don't want you to have any more than that. Because... Well, I don't know why. That's a good question. And healthy fat. Avocados, nuts, like walnuts, seeds, olives. Healthy fat is also salmon and mackerel and sardines. Approximately the size of your thumb. What?
Wait, what's the size of your thumb?
The healthy fat. It should be the size of your thumb. To keep it simple, use your blender to make delicious smoothies in the morning. Well, I do that. I usually have that for breakfast. And filling vegetable soups to have with lean proteins at lunch and dinner. Soup. I guess soups are low in calories if you're not doing the high cream soup with lots of yummy stuff in it.
Yeah. Well, they're good to have as an accompaniment. I like adding stuff to bulk it up, like rice or some kind of protein.
Yeah, but see, rice is carbohydrates.
Oh, F that.
And by F, you mean Fandango.
Yes,
What was his name?
Fandango.
What was his name on toast?
Clem.
Clem Fandango.
Stephen, Clem Fandango here.
Yes, Clem Fandango. Gosh, that's such a fun. And then we were watching, what's his name? Jack Whitehall, and
yeah.
Rosie Perez,
Yeah.
your Puerto Rican sister from another mister.
Yeah.
And that was interesting because Jack Whitehall wrote this, apparently. It's some TV series called Bounty Hunters. And it's violent and bloody and there's bad language. But it's kind of funny. Okay.
I'm still like that pairing. How did that happen?
Exactly.
It's such an unlikely pairing.
We gotta research that. Yes.
Yeah. I wonder if they know each other or like their agents know each other.
That's probably it.
So bizarre.
All right, let me zip through this, love, because I think you're making a pasta or something.
I am.
Which is carbs and bad for you.
You know what?
Here we go. Walk. It says here, walk at least 10,000 steps each day. Now, I've been trying to do 5,000, but I should step it up and do 10,000. And there's all kinds of ways to count how far you're walking these days, especially the Google Fit is free. This thing also says sleep should be a third of one's life, but excessive screen time, caffeine, and alcohol consumption and obesity have obliterated sleep quality. Eliminate all technology from your bedroom and avoid caffeine after noon. That is really good advice, but it is so hard to do. Also, try using a blackout sleep mask, earplugs, and sound machine, or anything else that may help you sleep deeper and longer.
That does help me. I've noticed where a sleep mask and some either earplugs or sometimes I'll just use the pillow, put it over my head to block out the noise.
And earplugs, I hate the way they make my ears feel.
Yeah.
Unplug. Take a break from technology at least 1 hour a day. That's good. Just block it all out. And use resistance exercise to push, pull, or press something that challenges your body's muscles. Huh.
Wait, it says nothing in there about mental health.
No.
And emotional well-being. That's just as important as all of that stuff.
Yes.
Like
I
what
agree.
people do to manage stress.
With all the anxiety that we have in the world.
Yeah, because that's going to make us forget all about the eating healthy. We're going to reach for the ice cream. We're going to reach for the cake, for the donuts, for the freaking pizza, and all that comfort food because we're effing stressed.
And by you mean fandangoing stress.
Yes.
Wow, lovely lady friend. You are sure dropping a lot of fandango bombs today.
Yes.
All right. Well, I'm going to keep all of this helpful information in this little slot here at Cafe Anyway outside so we can use it in the future if we need. Oh, did you ever see this?
What is that?
Jimmy Fallon thank you notes.
Oh, no.
He did this back when he was doing late night. Thank you. The word prescient. I'm not exactly sure what you mean, but I try to slip you into conversation when I don't think the person I'm talking to knows what you mean either. He's talking to the word prescient. I knew they didn't know what I was talking about. It was the perfect example of being prescient. By the way, I got you a birthday prescient. Thank you, leaves, for starting to change color. You can disguise yourself however you like, but I still know it's you. Thank you, NASA, for... oh, by the way, did you hear about Elon Musk's... he had a couple spaceships, or he had a spaceship today blow up or something.
No.
Yeah.
I did not see that.
Yeah, Houston, we have a problem.
Uh-oh.
Thank you, NASA, for firing that missile at the moon. I think that sent a clear message to other lifeless rocks in the solar system that their constant orbiting will no longer be tolerated. And finally, one more. One more. Here we go. That one's not good. Thank you, people who count their money at the ATM and then file it away slowly while I stand behind them. For not feeling burdened by my presence, I'm just going to stand here silently, getting madder and madder. And when you turn around and apologize to me, I'm going to say, no problem, in the most upbeat voice you've ever heard.
Oh, thank you, Jimmy.
Thank you. That was good, Jimmy. All right, well, I guess that's it. Did you want to add anything else? I didn't mean to wrap it up so quickly, but...
No, love. Thank you for having me on.
And thank you for coming on and telling us about the deer you saw.
Yes, they were very sweet. Have you told your listeners about the animal or animals?
We may have an animal
we're encouraging
that's adopted us in the backyard. And lovely lady friend is feeding that animal, whatever it is. We don't know. We've never seen it. It could be a cat. We have seen a cat a couple of times, but yeah, so that's going to be someday we'll meet this animal. But the animal, there was a lot of food left over. When Basil left us, there was a lot of food left over that he hadn't eaten yet, and so we gave the food to this animal. It could be a co-op of animals, a collective of animals, so who knows?
Or maybe it's a noodle monster.
Yes! I really hope it's a noodle monster.
Maybe it's an alien.
On that note, we're going to have some pasta.
Yes.
Thank you, lovely lady friend.
You're welcome.
It was a joy having you here. Oh, we didn't do an episode yesterday, which we should have done, because yesterday was 2121.
That's right.
Instead, we did one on 2221, which I guess is kind of cool. And, one other thing before we wrap up, and I think you'll agree with me on this. People have got to stop printing stuff. Emails, I mean. You know, when you get an email, people print out, like, the lamest things. Like, there's so many ways you can still read stuff and not have to print it out. Do you know? I mean, I understand legal documents you have to sign, but you can do that now digitally, virtually, or whatever, you know. But it's ridiculous that we still have to pay money to printers and that we still have printing machines and we're still printing stuff when we don't really need to. You are looking at me. It's so confused. You are looking at me.
I'm sorry. Have you had to do that recently? You had to print.
No, but somebody had that on their email. I was looking at an email that said, please don't print this unless you absolutely have to. And that reminded me that I have been actually putting that on emails since I first got an email. I was like, oh, this is great. Now we don't have to use so much paper, but people still print out a ridiculous amount of stuff for no reason. Well, maybe I'm saying it more in radio, but I mean, you don't have to really print out that recipe, do you? When it's up on the web, you can just find it, or you can email it to yourself. We're not thinking, is what I'm saying.
You would like more thoughtfulness, love, more intentionality, more deliberate.
That's me crumpling up paper.
Conscientious behavior.
Yes.
That's okay. I can get behind that.
Thank you for making me feel awkward, and thank you for listening to Mike's Daily Podcast.
Mike's Daily Podcast is written and produced and performed by Mike Matthews. His podcast is super easy to find. Download or listen to his show and read his blog at MikesDailyPodcast.com. Email Mike now at MikesDailyPodcast@gmail.com. See you tomorrow. Bye!